So, as far as Star Trek news goes, this is a bit, I'm a bit behind on talking about this, but I still had a couple ideas I wanted to throw out there as far as what I think will happen. And of course, what I'm referring to is in 2017, there will be a sixth Star Trek series coming to TV. Of course, that is unless you count or don't count the animated series, which followed the original series, which I had only seen maybe a couple episodes of, but I think it was supposed to be based on the last 2 years of the 5 year mission. So otherwise, it would be a seventh series coming to TV. Anyway, what I think will happen, or what, as far as options they have to what they can do with this, is a number of things really. They can continue the Star Trek reboot timeline, following, well, depending on what happens in Star Trek Beyond, which will be which will be the third movie in this series. Um, I'm assuming that's going to be the title. I don't know if that's a placeholder or not, but I don't mind it. It is basically going to be the movie is going to be set in the 5 year mission of the original Enterprise, from what I hear. Um, but they can either continue that, they can go and continue the timeline that they've been working through on the TV series, or they can just, I say, fast forward to the launch of, I would say, Enterprise F. That way they don't have to worry about bringing back Enterprise E or anything like that. Um, though, like I said, uh, or what I'm leaning towards is I don't think them bringing back any series is a or continuing any series is what they could really do, unless they went with a brand new ship as far as the Enterprise timeline is concerned at the very beginning. Say maybe they made like an NX2 Enterprise or something like that. Um, that's best I can figure. They could continue with that. Otherwise, like I said, they could. My best guess is if they aren't just going to show up with like some random ship and just continue the TV series timeline. Um, I say start with Enterprise F. Just start over from scratch. Start in a new like what is I don't know where Enterprise F comes into the timeline. There is a comic, I believe. I'm only hearing this secondhand that they did. I think it was called Timelines. It was supposed to be a prequel to the rebooted Enterprise or rebooted Star Trek series or the rebooted Star Trek movie series, whereas it was set 30 years after Nemesis, and Data was actually the captain of Enterprise E because he had managed to download his brain into B4, and they eventually gave him command of the ship. That was 30 years after. I would say if they were going to do Enterprise F as a starting point, because they can just bring a whole new crew in, that would probably be another, say, 15 to 20 years, I think, after that. So it'd be basically 50 years after where we left off in the timeline. Um, my other kind of out of left field idea is depending on how Star Trek Beyond ends, the next series could possibly be, and I just kind of thought of this recently, and I don't know how likely it is, but they could maybe start with, if they're not going to start doing movies, they could possibly do a series of a rebooted Next Generation, which is it's an interesting idea, and they could really have time to flesh that out. But it would also be kind of weird because they'd also be kind of going backwards at the same time. Um, but I think my thinking is, as far as this movie series goes, I say maybe do 4 movies. If you're not going to do a trilogy, do up to 4 movies and move on. Uh, if they have any plans of doing a Next Generation reboot, I would say do it after maybe a fourth movie. Um, Other than that, I think it would kind of be interesting to see a rebooted Next Generation series, especially if they don't have any plans to get to a movie itself. Then again, I don't know what Beyond will be about. It could be they could somehow possibly be doing a whole Star Trek Generations tie-in. I highly doubt it. I think it's too soon for that. But if they have any plans whatsoever to do any sort of Next Generation rebooted, like they did with the original series, uh, they need some sort of way to tie it in, I think. Like I said, though, otherwise I would say it's a very far long shot that they would try to do it in a series format of a rebooted Next Generation. But I think it would be an interesting watch. I don't know how well it would do, and of course it would be compared to the original series as it should. But for my money, I would say if you're not going to continue the original timeline, uh, or you're not going to sort of do like a few years into the future NX2 kind of Enterprise with the Archer timeline, I would say start off with Enterprise F and go from there. That way you kind of have the lineage and well, technically Enterprise F is actually already designed as I believe it was Star Trek Online had a model made up for it. I think the game. I've never played the game. It looks so-so, but I don't have a PC and I never looked into buying it for Mac. Um, but the Enterprise F technically is already designed. There are models of it out there, and I think it actually looks like a pretty decent ship. Um, but those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Uh, so yeah, uh, we'll see what happens. Like I said, those are the ways I see them kind of taking this. If they're not just going to make a brand new crew with a brand new ship like they did with Voyager, and just kind of throw it in some situation, uh, I because I don't think they'd be able to bring back any old crew to kind of do like a to be continued what happens after the series wrapped up kind of thing. They'd have to start with a new crew, and I would say try and keep the lineage of Enterprise in there somewhere if you could, or however they do it. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think, and I thank you for watching, putting up with my rant, as it is kind of a rant, kind of more off the top of my head. Uh, Bullet point wise, I always come up with ideas of how I'm going to uh, go across, or not go across rather, but lay out my videos. But it's all kind of off the top of my head, so it kind of rambles a bit. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. I'm looking forward to this series, and like I said, those are my ideas of where they could go with it. I don't really know of another option, but if you guys think of any sort of uh, other option that comes to your mind, let me know. I think it would be interesting just to kind of brainstorm before the fact and see how close we get. But I thank you for watching and have a good day. And feel free to check out any other videos I made on any other topic that I've done, which is a lot because this is a very random channel and I put up whatever comes to mind basically. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. And feel free to subscribe if you wish. And yeah, just throwing that in there because why not? And because why not? I will show these off. I had never gotten around to it, but I picked these models up years ago. I was going to do an unboxing, but I kind of like them in the box themselves, so I thought at the very least I'll show them off. These actually came as a set. No, they didn't come as a set, sorry. There is a series. Yeah. And this is kind of meandered from the original point of this video, but I thought I would give you a look at those in case I don't actually get around to doing a video of these. Anyway, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with me for the 9.5+ minutes now that we're running. And I'll see you for my next video. Most likely won't be Star Trek related, but it'll be something related, and that'll be worth it. Thanks, guys. Later.